Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Stories That Inspire Us podcast. My name is Janice Malillo, your host. And just to let everyone know, of course, I am simulcasting through the Wisdom Audio app, and I want to welcome my listeners who are currently on the Wisdom Audio app. As you can imagine, I have an amazing guest today. And let me just tell you a little bit about her. She, by the way, I want to thank her because it is 10 a.m. Eastern time and it is 10 p.m. in Singapore. And I am just overwhelmed with gratitude. Thank you so much for being here, Shashi. I am so excited to have you on the podcast today.
I must thank you, Janice, for getting me on this show. I'm really very pleased to be here. And I must commend you for all the good work that you are doing. You are doing such a good job taking all the inspiring stories to the world. The world needs to hear them and be inspired and to find the strength to come back. So amazing job. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shashi. I can't thank you enough for that. As everyone knows, Stories That Inspire Us was really originated from my son's story. And I actually saw him this weekend and he's okay. Bottom line is I am blessed and grateful. And he gives me that inspiration each day to continue forward, to serve others. And it's not, for me, it's not about how many followers I can get. It's about the inspiration, the connection, and collaboration with others to share their stories. Because when we work together, it's about creating that ripple effect to inspire others to do the same. Without further ado, Shashi, my gosh, your background blew me away, just saying. Not only are you an architect, you really, I consider you a powerhouse. You are a go-getter. And what I find so incredibly inspiring about your story is so many different things, but I'll start by saying you really, truly paved a way for women in the architect field. But not only that, it's just so much more than that. Can you start by sharing a little bit about your story? And then we'll also, of course, get into your book.
Sure. So the book is part of the story. Yeah. So I will start with my story and then we'll go to the book. Yeah. And you can just come in between to ask me any questions.
Sure.
So yes, I'm an architect. I love good design. I love design. And I'm also a project manager, which means that I build buildings. Yeah. So that means as a project manager, you have to make sure that from a land, the whole process from land to landmark, you are in charge. That means in construction, everything, including design, construction, project management, everything you're in charge. So that's my forte. Yeah. So construction industry is a very male-dominated industry throughout the world. And it is not easy for women to come up. So this is the industry which I'm very passionate about. And I decided this is where I'm going to survive. And survive, I did very well. So that's my background. I'm in construction. I am an architect. I'm a project manager. And yeah, I live in Singapore and I've been here for more than 28 years working in this construction industry.
Wow, that is so inspiring, especially to young women who want to look into architect, but into such a male-dominated field where, I think many would shy away from that. And
yes, true.
And I think that is so inspiring. What I really want to dig into as well is being an architect. When you're saying project management aspect of it, from the build to the buildings, that has to require a lot of attention to detail.
It is. It's a lot. It basically, like architecture is just about design. But project management is about everything. It's about cost, it's about construction, it's about dealing with contractors, it's about dealing with suppliers, materials, equipment, everything, you name it. So how do you get a land and then you build on it till completion? The whole process is called project management. And it's a very hard field because it's construction. You have to be at site and you have to walk site, and it's not a easy, nice job sitting in an aircon building. That's not how it happens. You have to literally get your hands dirty. So that's why not many women venture into this, because it's a very rugged industry. Yeah, long working hours, and it's like loud men, calling the shots. It's typical male dominated industry. So that's why you see fewer women there, but it's okay. We can survive. Women can do anything they want. They can survive anywhere as long as you're passionate about the job. Yeah, so I'm very passionate so I can survive in this industry. I've been surviving.
Right, and I see that without a doubt, because as you were, I love when I see the expression on my guest's face when they are describing, like I was imagining you on a building site, and I could see.
Oh yeah, that's when I'm informed. Yeah, I am informed there.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. What has been one of your challenges? For instance, maybe you show up to a job site and maybe the workers or whomever is there don't realize that the person in charge of the project is actually a woman. What has been, that must be a shock for them, I would imagine, right?
True. It happens. In fact, when I am the first time, let's say people don't know me, yeah, and I'm going to a meeting room with my project managers who are mostly men, they will think that I am probably their secretary, and they will think the men are the boss, because you don't see many females leading projects in a construction industry. And I have led multi-billion-dollar projects. So people don't realize it until they know you. Once they know you and they know you mean business and they know what you're capable of, and then everything falls in line. So that's why I think most important thing is to make yourself so strong and so good that people respect you. You automatically command that respect because you're so good at your field that people can't ignore you. And that has always been my, funda, that be so good that people can't ignore you. And it's works very well for me.
Wow. So now I have some kind of, I guess, funny questions, because as we all know, sometimes things pop into this head and I just have to ask them.
Go ahead.
When you show up to a job site, and let's say you were in the office and then you have to go to a job site, do you switch clothes? So like, do you show up at the job site in heels? I would imagine not.
No.
Okay.
So that's why construction industry, because at the job site, it's very raw. So you need to wear safety boots, you need to wear a safety harness, you need to have helmets. So it will be a total change in gear. So I will change and I will go. So there are times when I have to walk site whole day. And when that is the case, I'll just wear the boots and everything. I'll wear my t-shirt and jeans from home. And then I just change into a safety set at site. So yeah, so that's why you have to walk. You have to walk so much. You have to be fit and, totally fit to be in construction, because you got to walk a lot. You have to walk the construction sites. You got to check. You got to walk over reinforcement bars. There are no lifts in a building. I've handled 56-story building where you have to walk up and down the stairs, 56 stories. Imagine up and down.
Wow.
And that's not something you do once a week. You do it every day. So it's like, you just toughen up. I think it's our body, our minds, everything. It's about you just make yourself do it and you toughen up. That's how life is. Yeah. So if we just keep doing it, you become stronger.
And then that becomes a norm for you. So
yeah, then it's
although 50,
50,
60 flights, that is a lot. It's like, okay, piece of cake.
It's okay. It's just, you have to do it. You have to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, the hard hat,
Mhm.
do they have pretty colored hard hats?
No, they don't. It's horrible. It's either yellow or white. You know what I do? I'm the only one who does that in my construction site. I will take the hard hat and I will sketch over it because I'm also an architect. So I'll make beautiful designs over it, what I want. And trust me, I'll be the only one wearing that in the entire construction site because most people will just go with a boring hat. But no, I can't be boring, yeah? So I will I'll make it so interesting. So they will know, oh, Shashi is coming.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. And you're so right. You cannot be boring because that is definitely
No
something
way.
you are
That's
not.
not me. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in a boring construction site, but that doesn't mean I have to be boring.
Wow. So how long have you been in this industry?
Oh, a long time, 28 years in this industry. So yeah, seen it all, done it all. So yeah, toughened up totally. So yeah,
Wow.
managed all kinds of projects with all kinds of problems. And construction industry is very famous for, it's not like no day is the same as the previous day. You have never ending problems, either design problems, authority problems, or some equipment will fail, or there will be a big downpour and you can't do your concreting works. It's never ending. So it's like, today, what am I going to face? So you face it and then you solve it. And the next day, it won't be the same. You'll face something else and then you'll solve it. So you just, because now I've been in this for so long that I enjoy it. I love the challenges because you ask me to do a desk job whole day, I can't do it. I'll resign. Yeah. So to me, that challenge is what makes it, I love it. I love the challenge behind this industry. And that's why I'm here.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
could you describe perhaps one of the biggest challenges that you may have faced?
In the industry, oh, there are lots of challenges. Let me tell you a very interesting one. Okay, this is a very interesting topic, thing, but it's a bit goofy. But never mind. I'll just share this. One of my projects, there was non-stop problems. Yeah, something or the other kept happening, accidents after accidents after accidents. And we didn't know what's wrong because the safety was in place, everything was in place, the planning was perfect. What was happening? Some worker will fall, something will go wrong, the machinery will break down. We didn't know what was wrong. So we said, okay, last resort, let's do some prayers. Yeah, let's just get all these. In Singapore, we have multi-religious groups. Yeah, so we have monks from all religions. So they will come to the site and we did some prayers. And you won't believe this, Janice, all problems stopped after that. So what is it? How do you even explain it? It's beyond logic, you see. So it all stopped and then everything was fine. So, oh my God, I don't know what went wrong. Yeah, so that's how it is. I mean, construction problems, piling rigs collapsing, machinery collapsing, all that happens. Yeah, that's boring. But I thought this was pretty interesting because you don't find this in all job sites. So yeah, things go wrong.
Yeah,
And
they
we
do.
survive.
And you have to
Yeah.
pivot on a dime. And I
Yes.
would think that there's, with the background and the experience that you have, I'm sure there's probably things that have happened which obviously weren't anticipated,
No,
but
totally. Yeah.
you learn from it. So
We learn from it.
and you have
Yeah.
to be that attention to detail really comes into play to help you
True.
solve
We have
the problem.
absolutely. And especially in construction, the problems will not be the same. So, okay, one day you'll have a machinery that doesn't work. Another day, a shipment that's coming from China will be lost in sea, and you have to have those materials at site. Another day, something else, the crane will collapse, something or the other. It's like something will go wrong. Or let us say you are piling. Piling is basically digging down. You will hit hard rock and you can't go down below. So things like that will keep cropping up. And then what I'm talking about is construction related problems. And there are plenty of people related problems. problems. Yeah, that is there in all industries. Yeah, human beings are
Sure.
most complicated species. You know, they create problems where there is none. So it's like, yeah, so it's human problems, and then the problems at site, everything comes together and it becomes more complicated.
Wow. Now I want to kind
Yeah.
of segue over to your book.
Yeah, that's
Tell
a
us,
very interesting story.
tell us the
How,
name of your book and
yes,
how
how
you
did it come
decided to
about?
write it.
Exactly. You see, there are I think you can count on your fingers the number of project managers who write books. Because it's a two different field, you see.
Mhm.
Book writing is a very creative industry. It's very different. Yeah, you need to think, you need to be more philosophical. And construction is a hardcore day job. It's a job at site. Yeah, so both actually don't, they are quite different. And how did I end up writing a book? Yeah, that's a very interesting fact. So yeah, so I was having a very amazing job with one of hospitality groups, and I was the senior vice president of this company, managing projects across Southeast Asia and Australasia. And I loved my job. It was beautiful. It was the job that I wanted, a dream job. And then came COVID-19 and I was retrenched. I mean, we know how much hospitality industry was affected, and all industries were affected. But basically, the moment the airlines was grounded, there was no tourism. All countries closed their borders. Hotels died, literally died. So there was no construction work. So I was retrenched. My whole team, everybody, departments were retrenched. And to me, after being in this industry for so long, being in the peak of my career, to be retrenched, I couldn't take it. I was like totally down, wallowing in self-pity, blaming the whole world, why this should happen to me. And Janice, yeah, you know, we always blame God, yeah? Anything that goes wrong, we say, God, why? Why did you do this to me? I have been a good human being. I have done everything good. And why did this thing happen to me? You know, you just go spiraling down, and then you just keep self-pitying, blaming. It's like you are lost. I was totally lost. Imagine being a super busy woman and suddenly you don't know what to do with your time. You are totally, you have clueless, totally. You don't have any purpose in life. It's like, because to me, my work was a big part of my identity. So I didn't know what to do. So that's when it took me a few months before I could accept the fact and surrender. I think that's the most important thing. Whenever something happens in life, which is not as per what we want, till we surrender, we cannot find the strength to move on. We have to surrender. We have to accept the situation. Okay, shit happens in everybody's life. This has happened. We have to face it. And that's when you stand up. You get the strength from within. And then after I realized it, I found the strength within. And then I was very sad. I wanted to be happy. So I literally chased the happiness chemicals. And when I say happiness chemicals, I'm talking about dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin. These are all, it's a scientifically proven thing. You chase happiness chemicals, you become more happy. And it was a total body, mind, soul approach. It's a overall, yeah. So when I followed this path, I became very happy. I didn't have a job. I was still very happy. I was at peace with myself, and I put myself out. That's when I thought, I can take this lesson to the world. I mean, there are so many people who are suffering. Forget about retrenchment. There are people with all kinds of problems, and you're sad. And if you're sad, what needs to be done to be happy? You need to just chase the happiness chemicals. It's simple as that. So this is a very because I am a very structured person. I'm a very planned, organized person. So I followed a very structured approach. You follow that approach, you come out of whatever is your sad, whatever is making you sad. And when I wanted to write the book, I also thought, why not take the other lessons that I have learned in my life? I had a very difficult pregnancy, and my baby is literally a miracle child. There are so many women in this world suffering from, they can't get pregnant, they are depressed. So I could help them. My book could be a message out there. And I also touched upon what is success, what are goals, how to chase your goals. I'm a strong believer of continuous learning. I did my master's in project management way out of after I passed out of college. So I also believe that we should always educate ourselves, go into the college, because many people, many older people always are a bit scared to go into college. They feel, oh, how will the young people look at us? So I take a lesson out there. Come on, do it. Everybody can do it. We have to educate ourselves. So things like that. So I talk about parenting. I talk about adoption. I have a beautiful story in my book about adoption, real life adoption story. Yeah. One of my cousins adopted a girl. So things like that. And I also touch upon how does a woman survive in a man's world? How do you climb the corporate ladder? So I put all these stories together. I present a book, and the book is called In the Ring with Life, Taking the Punches and Winning the Game. So what is in the ring with life? We are all, imagine ourselves in a boxing ring, and life is our opponent. We don't know where the next punch is going to come from. We're going to be kicked left and right, yeah? We're going to lose our love. I mean, I don't want to sound scary, but that is life, yeah? If you are born, you're in the ring with life, right? Everybody has to go through problems, setbacks, issues. And how do you, when you're punched, when you're knocked down, what do? You don't sit there and cry, yeah? You come up, you become stronger, you come and face life again, and then you become better. You learn your lesson. The most important thing is to learn our lessons and to come back stronger. And then you face life again, and then another lesson and another thing. So the whole book is about this. It's about telling people you can, whatever happens in life, we have the strength within to come up, to fight back, and to stand strong. So that's the purpose of the book.
Wow. So you made shift happen.
Yeah.
In a way that honored your journey. You acknowledged your strength. You surrendered to that. You chased the happiness chemicals. And I'm gonna have to take that phrase, just saying, I love that. Chase the happiness chemicals.
Yeah. You're sad, you chase the happiness chemicals, you become happy. It's a very logical thing to do. There's nothing here, just chase them and you become happy. That's all.
And I love how you explain that you approach it in a very structured way, because life is very real. There's always unexpected things that happen. Obviously, stories. This podcast was born out of my son's tragedy.
Exactly. Yeah, you faced it, right? You faced.
Yes.
You have faced that. You don't sit and sit near your son and then you are just crying away. And no, you are taking the stories of different people into the world. You have your problems too.
Sure.
But you are still doing all this. Yeah, so that's exactly, we find the strength to carry on. Yeah.
And the lessons that are learned, I love what you said, you come back stronger. And that is so true on so many different levels, not just for myself. I'm not talking about myself, but I'm talking in general, because I think when something does happen, as you said, we have to have that time and give ourselves the grace and respect to say, okay, all right, what happened sucked. I need to acknowledge it. It's really bothering me, but I need to come up with a way to restructure my mindset. That's not always easy to do.
Yeah, true. It's not easy to do, but if you follow something with discipline, you can reach there. Like when I say body, mind, soul, overall. Yeah. So what do I mean by chasing happiness chemicals? I'll just give you a very short example of what I did. Let's say mind. Yeah. So mind, how do you work on the mind? That's dopamine. Yeah, you generate dopamine. So what do? You have to, like, for example, me, my problem was I lost my job. So what did I do? I had to pause and reflect. Did I like my job? Do I want to change the line? Do I want to learn? Do I want to study? So you reflect on it. You take action. You update your CV. You start sending out to other people. That's with respect to my problem, but every problem is different. Then you learn something. It's all to keep your mind occupied, because the more occupied your mind is, your thought process is going to be more tamed, more better, instead of just thinking about what went wrong, right? Then you do something creative. So these are things that fall within the mind. Then body, you have to exercise. You have to, I mean, when you exercise, it's good for you. You like it or not, you're very sad, you still exercise, you will feel good, because you generate those chemicals within. So go out, self-pamper, self-love, all this is with respect to body. And with respect to the soul, the best thing you can do, meditate. I mean, go within, find the strength within. We are so much stronger. And for me, I did volunteering. I took shelter dogs out for walks, and that was like so therapeutic. Literally, I must thank the dog to bring me out of depression, seriously. So it was, so basically, I did body, mind, soul. I worked on it. And that's it. I felt very good. Regardless of my situation, I was fit and fine. So I think that's a very simple strategy to follow for anybody who's having problems in life, any problem.
That is so true. And of course, the self-care aspect, whatever that may be for any individual, perhaps it's, taking 15 minutes when you first wake up and do some journaling, or a little exercise, or whatever it means to you. I think a lot of times when we say we're going to, okay, I know I need to work on my mindset, like we overcomplicate it. And maybe if we just step back for a moment and say, okay, if I want to change my mindset, all right, what are some of the things that I like to do? What are the things that I want to do? How can I maybe combine those?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why it's a very structured approach. Yeah.
And it can be very therapeutic.
It can be very therapeutic. You're absolutely right.
Because we take an active part, we really take an active part in honoring ourselves by taking a step back and doing something that feels
good. That feels good. That's true. For example, Janice, you have a problem, your son, with your son, it's making your heart feel sad. But you are doing this, you are taking these stories, doing this regardless of what's going on in your life. You are taking time to take these stories to the world. So that will give you so much happiness and satisfaction, because you're working on a cause which is higher than yourself. So when whoever works on a cause higher than oneself, one's own selfish interest, I tell you, it's a blessed life, because you feel good, you feel satisfied. And that particular feeling is going to overpower the sadness that you have in your heart. So I think volunteering, helping people, going out to the world, doing something for people, I think that's the best way to come out of any problems. I think that's what I think.
Yeah. And with that being said, I think sometimes, for a lot of people, the problem, whatever it may be, may always be there. But I think that it is lessened, or maybe somebody can make more sense of it because they are doing something that feels good. Like, when you go into something, or if you're going to start a project or volunteer or whatever it may be, what that feeling is. And I just want to take a side moment here and welcome to all of the listeners on the Wisdom Audio app. I thank you all so much for being here. Shashi, what is a tip, perhaps, after your experience of writing the book? What has your experience been with the feedback of your book?
Oh, the feedback has been so amazing from people around the world. Okay, I mean, before I touch upon that, I'm someone who likes to inspire people, even while in my construction field or in my office or my set of project managers. I like to inspire people, motivate people, and bring out their, strengths. So, but that I was doing in a very limited scale. Yeah, because if I have a project, I have those number of people under me. So I motivate and encourage them. But when I write a book, the book is going to the whole world. I could never ever imagine the influence the book can have. Seriously, the messages that I have taken in my book about all these things, I could have never ever got the opportunity to talk about it to the world. So the feedback that's coming in is so beautiful. People, like so many women have written to me saying, I went through this pregnancy problem. I had this miscarriage. I had this problem. I could totally relate. There are women who have written to me telling me that corporate world, it's so difficult. It's male dominated. Men get preference. You have given us so much strength. So there are things like, there are men who have written to me, young people who have written to me that, because I have a chapter on the goals. How do you set goals? How do you chase your goals? How do you live life without, exact goal? How do you have certain goalposts in your life, and how do you chase after it? So the response has been amazing. The feedback has been amazing. And the beauty about this is, young or old, people could relate to it. Women and men both could relate to it. So that's something which I'm very happy about, because it appeals to a full group of people. That if you're somebody who wants to, you're very goal-oriented, it is going to appeal to you. And for people who are like, want to live for a cause, yeah, I have a chapter about living for a cause, because I'm a very strong believer that we all should be living for a cause. Apart from taking care of our family and our selfish interests, we all should be contributing to this world in bigger ways. So people have, given feedback about that. They loved it, because I talk about something called karma currency in my book. I just coined the term called karma currency, where it's not about the money. It means when you're going to die, you cannot take the money in your bank, but this karma currency is something that it's good deeds that you have done in your life. And the richer you are based on the good deeds that you have done, the better you're going to feel on your deathbed. And that's going to put a smile on your lips. So I talk about that. So the feedback has been amazing, and I am so, so happy that I wrote the book. So Janice, I first in the beginning, I was cursing God. I was saying, why God, why did you do this to me?
Right.
Now I know why God did this to me, because now I know why I got retrenched, because God wanted me to write a book like this and take it to the world. It was for a reason. My retrenchment happened for a reason. So now I don't feel bad. Yeah, I feel good that, yeah, there has been a purpose in this whole thing. So I think whenever setbacks happen, it makes us stronger. If there is a reason for it, we may not be able to see God's plan or the universe plan. What was the reason? But I'm sure after some time, when we turn back and look at that incident in our life, we will know why it was there. It was there to make us stronger. It was there to teach us some lessons. It was there to make us a better person. There are so many reasons. So I think we should, every setback that happens, every problem that we face, we should feel blessed, and we should do our best in that situation, come out of it, and one day we'll feel very proud of ourselves and think, I handled that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful and so well said, and it makes me think of so many different things, that have happened, of course, but a lot of times when we are entrenched in the actual problem, we don't see the blessings along the way that transpired. And for instance, I look back at this past year, the number of people that, for instance, that helps me when everything happened with my son, Ryan, I don't even know how it came together. And, and on that train ride down to Philly that day, knowing that my son was in critical condition, I went through the same thing. I asked, why?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. What the flippity flip?
Exactly.
But long story short, look at all we may not see the blessings as they're happening, but so many things happen that made me realize that and no mother wants their son to go anything through horrible. So I just want my listeners and viewers to know, but it did happen, and I had to accept what had happened in order to move forward.
Yeah.
And that, I was going over the George Washington Bridge coming home from Philly when I thought of doing this podcast. Like, how does that happen?
How did that happen? Yeah.
It was divine. I swear to God,
Exactly.
divine
Yes.
intervention.
It is, absolutely. So do you think if that didn't happen to your son, would you be still doing this podcast? Do you think so?
That's a great question, and I'm going to answer that with honesty. I don't think it would have happened.
You see? So you see, I mean, it was divine intervention that made you do this, because now you're influencing the whole world. So many people listening to these stories are going to feel, encouraged, inspired to do something about their lives. So yeah, that's amazing.
That is so true, and you have inspired me beyond measure. And I've been saying for the last 2 years, even before Ryan's accident, that I really need to work on my own book. I have the book cover on my desktop as a reminder, like, hey, you need to get moving with this. But I excuse me, I'm even more inspired to do so.
You should, because your book will inspire so many other people. So you have to get to it every day. Just write a page and you'll be done with it.
That is true. Maybe I can get it done before my 61st birthday.
Yes, you can. You can do it. Yes.
Wow. Sashi, I don't know if you have a few, I know it's late for you.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Go ahead. Don't worry. I'm enjoying this conversation with you.
Okay. I just want to acknowledge again the many listeners on the Wisdom Audio app, and I thank you so much. We have time, if it's okay with you, Sashi, to invite one of the guests up to kind of join the conversation, or maybe they have some questions.
Sure.
Wonderful. So wisdom listeners, I see so many familiar names on here. So please don't be shy. I would love to
ask whatever question.
We have time for one guest to come up. So come on up. And in the interim, while we are waiting, Sashi, what is one big goal that you have for yourself with this book? Is it maybe a sequel?
Okay, as the sequel, there are many people who have requested me to write another book because they felt they were able to connect with my book. I don't write like a writer, yeah. I write like I'm in conversation with you. So it's like a chit chat. It's a very casual book, which it's not heavy on your mind, yeah. Because most self-help books, people kind of avoid self-help books because they are like too heavy for them. They don't know what the author is trying to say. But I put it in a very simple way, like I'm having this conversation with you. So that's why people love it. And people have told me you should write another book. So this book came because of divine intervention, totally. The next book, when it has to come, it will come again. Somebody up there will tell me what to do. So I'm just going to go with the flow.
I love that. Go with the flow. And on that note, I just want to tell you once again, I thank you so much for your time. It has been so inspiring, so uplifting. I'm all about the inspiration, the connection, the collaboration, and the engagement. And today you've shared such a very intimate look, not only at who you are as a person, but what you do in your life. And then, to writing your book, I think is beyond inspiring. So thank you so much for being my guest today. And I hope that you will definitely consider coming back.
I will come back. I have so many stories because every chapter in my book is a story on its own. So I can certainly come and share other things about, so many other aspects. So thank you, Janice, for having me on board. Is there any questions or that?
No, I don't see anybody coming up. So we're going to, at this point, sign off of the Wisdom Audio app. Once again, I want to thank all my amazing listeners. Remember, if you have a story to share, even if you think you have a story to share, guess what? You need to share it. contact me. You can go to my profile underneath my name on the Wisdom Audio app. And that is the Truly Your VA website. However, send me a contact form through there. I know that many people have registered, and just to let everyone know, I did have an issue with some of the email. That's been worked out. So I am a little bit behind, but I promise you, if you have registered, I will get back to you. So for now, remember, your story matters. Thank you so much for listening today, and I will see you again real soon. Bye for now, Wisdom. You're the best. I love Wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Again,
Okay, thank
Shashi,
you,
this has
Janice.
been just earth-shattering for me. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing me on board. I loved it. I loved the conversation with you, and you take care. Everything will be all right.
It
We
sure
all have the
will.
strength. Yeah.
It
Thank
sure
you.
will.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye. See ya.